GM, everybody. Happy Thursday, man. What a wild 24 hours it has been. Maybe even 48 hours. Haven't really slept too much. Everything's going crazy. We have Pascal on the call, one of the trending tokens yesterday. I think at one point you were #1 in on-chain volume, man. Absolutely. Congrats. We're here on Spaces. So if you're in Spaces, you're listening to us. We also have Pascal on the live stream that'll pin up here to the top. But Pascal, man, how are we feeling? Congratulations on the absolutely crazy launch.
Thank you. Good morning. Do you ever do low good mornings in the morning?
Good lows?
You have like a little more range in the morning. Something I do with my friends is I do like a good morning. How much range do you have on your voice this morning, Jake?
Oh man, not much, man. Haven't slept much.
I got a little bit of sleep. It was a crazy day. Crazy day. It was a lot of fun.
Let's go.
Yeah, ton of fun, man. We were talking before the show of just how sideways these things can go. When we're launching a launchpad, and we've launched tons of different crypto products, and they almost always break. And our back end did break a little bit. You guys probably didn't see it. People who were buying the token and stuff, it doesn't affect you, but our back end did go down. We had to upgrade all our stuff because, we're getting literally thousands of people visiting the site and stuff like that. Tends to break stuff. So it was a great fun day for us as well. So, but yeah, congrats on it, man.
Oh, thank you. And thank you guys for the help.
What's good, Chris?
What is good, man? Hood morning. I guess this is a first official Hood morning. So Hood morning to my boys. But yeah, man, good to see Emblem just pop up on another chain. Good to see BISCOTTI really take off. Good to see Robinval doing his thing with Jake. Good to see community support from not only ours, but the Robinhood community really embraced the Emblem team and Emblem community. And this is kind of like what we live for, is just like cross-chain interoperability, communities porting from one place to another, all in one seamless interface and seamless infrastructure. And I just think the future is just so bright here. So it's good to see BISCOTTI really get his legs. These dogs are going to come to life. It's super fire. But yesterday was a fun day. Looking forward to a lot more fun days.
Fun day. So I did pin up, for those that are listening on Spaces, there's a live stream pinned up to the top for those that like to view. We have a few hundred people that are both on the Spaces as well as the live stream. So we do talk simultaneously. We're just talking through my mic for those people who may be confused. But a little bit of a background. So yesterday, Emblem Vault, we launched our Robinhood launchpad. We had been planning for this for a few weeks. We've been talking with Pascal about launching a BISCOTTI token for his robot dog that now has money. And we had been coordinating this for a few weeks. The launch went exceptionally well. I think 15 million in trading volume. I think you're up to like 5,000 or 6,000 holders. A lot of interest, and Pascal's got an incredible background in robotics and AI that we're going to dive into, as well as the creator economy. But Emblem has a launchpad on Robinhood. We had one on Solana, and we're a cross-chain interoperability company that's been around since 2016. So we've been in the business for a little while. This was an insane launch and really exciting times. Pascal, I'll just start from the top with you. I'm sure a lot of people a little confused. What's a robot dog? Who are you? He's got the clown kind of makeup on here, theatric circus. What is going on here?
Oh, it's a lot of questions. A lot of answers to answer, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, maybe I'll start with our friend Biscotti, the robot dog. We've been bootstrapping this miracle of a dog into existence, and he's a character that I've been working on with a number of other collaborators. Two of my close collaborators are Tom Newby and Brian Hames. They are animatronics character geniuses who have worked on the Muppets and Sesame Street. And we got together, took a look at some robots that were interesting to us with our partnership with Boston Dynamics that I had in the past. Thought, man, it'd be really cool to be able to fuse some Muppet magic or the warmth of the Muppets in Sesame Street. You know, it's not an official affiliation with them, but these guys worked on the technologies that brought those characters to life, you see. And fuse that into the new school robotics technologies that are around. So Biscotti is really a fusion of new school and old school technologies. And the idea around Biscotti is to bring this magic into the streets in a sort of circus format. Characters entering the real world and entertaining families and kids and spreading joy, which we're all about. And, you know, led by a band of clowns and other characters and merry men. And, man, there's a lot that attaches to that, you know.
Man, it's almost like you're bringing the metaverse into real life. Throwback to old, you know, last crypto cycle, but it's like you're bringing the digital into the physical almost in a way.
Oh, sure. I mean, we see these as real characters, right? A robot is about as real as it gets. But my background is in animation. I started off as a classical animator. That's about as virtual as you can get on a character, you know, 2D, pencil on paper, and then into the computer, and then into the third dimension. And now, today, with the technologies that we have available to us, we can enter the, I guess, fourth or fifth or sixth. I don't know how that works, string theory stuff, but we're certainly busting through the wall with these very real characters that we're able to bring to the people.
So this dog that's pinned to your profile, when did you start, I guess you'd say, experimenting with robotics? We see on your profile that you have some top AI researchers that follow you. You have VC individuals, you know, and leaders in the crypto space. You have this, you know, unique culmination of a network, but it seems like it all centers towards this intersection of animation, robotics, and almost like theatrics.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, my first real foray into robotics was the partnership that formed with Boston Dynamics. I'm sure many of you have seen the Boston Dynamics robots before. They started off as a very cool YouTube channel, making quadrupeds and bipeds and robots that were doing really cool things. And at the time, I was working on a digital character. When I say digital, trapped in the screen, in the two-dimensional plane, right? Who wanted to be more real. This character's name was Spark Lingonberry. He was a miniature golden retriever. And his dream was to enter the real world. He wanted to smell some real butts, eat some real food, you know, live like a flesh and blood being. But, you know, being trapped inside his quantum portal was sort of his obstacle. So we took him up to Boston Dynamics to make a visit, because we had some friends there that were fans of Spark, the character, right? His personality. And Spark and I went up there with a small gang of friends, and Spark made a case to them. He pleaded, and he did his big puppy dog eyes, and he asked if he could have a body. And they kind of made a Boston Dynamics spot quadruped fall off the back of a truck. And about a week later, they hooked this clown up with one of those industrial robots, and we really put it through the ringer. They told us you could give the thing a beating, and so we did. We took it on a tour for 3 weeks across the United States. We built this absolute crazy Frankenstein contraption. Spark, the dog, was riding on top of the Boston Dynamics dog, piloting it around. as this strange contraption, and we would drop this robot into a bunch of different environments to see how people would respond. It was a pop-up tour. We're in a huge tour bus too, and we're all very confused in this bus because we're wondering, are we a startup or a band or a circus? I think the answer is yes, all three. And the way people responded was so wonderfully surprising, very positive. Especially going to the South. I think the folks there looked at the robot, and it was like an alien had touched down. Right? Many of these people had only ever seen videos of these technologies at best on YouTube. So to bring it to the people and get their takes was one of the most enlightening things. And I think people are going to be very excited about what's coming around the corner. I don't know if you guys been watching the Chinese robot Olympics. That's been some of my favorite robotics content coming out, especially the bloopers.
We were joking about them running, right? The funny way they've invented running, right, with the arms forward. And I just think, look, people are fascinated with it right now, right? And everybody realizes, at least in tech, we're in this kind of like singular moment. And I think, these sort of things for attention are just incredible. And it's one of the things that we were so attracted when you first kind of told us what your vision was, that got us excited, right? Which is like, with tokens and stuff, most devs who are just sitting behind a screen can only do so much, right? And this is like a whole nother way to layer in the outside world, the real world, and kind of combine not only crypto, but robotics in a way that's really, really cool and interesting and fun, right? And so that got us really excited. Why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of what, I know people are hitting me on DMs, like, what's he doing with the money? What does it mean robot has money, dog has money? What does that mean? If you want to give us a little story on what you're gonna, what the plan is there.
Oh, sure. Well, obviously we have this meme coin, which is an exciting thing. It's the first time we've ever done an official meme coin. We've had a lot of interest in the past around characters that we've created, fan tokens that have been made, and in the past, I elected to send all the proceeds to my friends at Sesame Workshop. But then wondered, well, with all this attention, can we harness it? Can we actually do some good with it? And so, the meme coin's definitely for fun. Not making any promises there, but as to what Biscotti's plan is, the way I look at this is Biscotti is really the tip of the iceberg. He is sort of the entry point into this universe. Many universes are trapped again behind the screen or inside books, but Biscotti is entering our reality, so he pulls through all sorts of magic behind him in his wake. And Biscotti he's kind of like our Mickey or our Kermit, right now. He's our front runner. But he's part of what feels like a real life video game. He's the player in the world. Imagine a bit of like Pokemon Go, but the characters are real, or GTA without the killing. Hugs and kisses and treats, and we're thinking through ways that people all around the world can participate in the story of Biscotti and friends and nudge his story around. We've seen a lot of games that have stayed trapped inside the screen, but we're interested in making the impact in the real world. A bit of MMORPG going on as well. But we've got this robot who is like the mothership, and we're thinking about how to create these other tendrils into him to influence the decisions that he makes, some of the aesthetics of him. A lot of that is unfurling right now as we're seeing what sort of interest appears around the character. But our goal really is to get this character near term into the streets of New York City. He's over at the workshop right now, being buttoned up in anticipation for my return to New York. I'm out on the West Coast right now, taking some meetings with some other robotics friends and some crypto friends and other friends that do all sorts of interesting things. There's so many disciplines that have to come together to produce a character like this. So we're really lining these ducks up for, I think, a pretty big splash. And as Biscotti and friends are out on the streets, there'll certainly be a lot of media, a lot of videos about, how he's being built and then how people are reacting to him once he's in the streets.
As somebody who's experienced in the robotics space and has, connections to Boston Dynamics and the world, what is their perspective on crypto, and just more so as you're one of the kind of early participants in trying to find where this intersection is? What is the overall robotics thought on crypto, and where do you try to make your impact?
I think we're still very early in the robotics crypto crossover. I think if I were to point at some of the larger groups that I've been in discussions with and collaborating with, a lot of the executives there don't quite understand the crypto stuff yet. They might be a little like freaked out by it right now because they don't know what it means. But I think they're like internally, the people that are actually working on this stuff can see the vision. The engineers, the designers that are getting their hands on the technologies can see that that AI and the blockchain want to be symbiotes, right? They are like kind of wrapped around each other. I made a visit over to Sesame Workshop a number of times after we first got on their radar for making a substantial impact on them. There's meme coins made by fans that like I said, have redirected all the fees. I didn't want them. I thought they would be better off with the proceeds. And they had a wallet that was publicly listed. And a bunch of money came in, and then they were like, "Wait, who the hell are you? we should meet." And I went in and I had some conversations with them. I had to explain what a meme coin was to these executives, and they still didn't really understand it. They were thankful, but it's as you know, it's a wild west. It's a swarm of beautiful confusion, and with some of these groups. They kind of move at a bit of a different clip. I think the media companies are going to be a little slower to catch up to crypto than the robotics companies, but I think it's inevitable that the robotics companies are gonna catch on because crypto is robot money. I mean, I'm sure as you guys know, you're even more technical than I am. I engineer as well. I find, making transactions with the blockchain and sitting through these interfaces very cumbersome. Even with all the technologies that we end up putting together, it's tough. It almost feels inhumane. But a robot knows how to work with these numbers and hashes and tokens, and it just feels very clear that is like the language for these robots, and we'll be relieved of that at a certain point in time when we can make these robots good enough to be able to do that on our behalf. So I think it's only a matter of time. I think it's only a matter of time till it's very common for robotics companies to have pretty native crypto integrations within them. They're still getting on their feet, quite literally.
When you think of when you think of like the intersection of crypto and robotics, what's like the first thing that come to mind? Is it a dog that has money that's tipping people? Is it, putting artificial intelligence into this robot so that it can, kind of autonomously be random with the currency? Or what's your initial thoughts on, how a robot with money actually performs actions with it?
Oh, sure. Well, what is a robot? It's a being, right, that exists in the real world, and it requires resources, right? Power to move its body around, power for the cognition. Who's going to supply the power to the bot? Well, its parent, its owner, maybe, but are we going to enslave these things? It didn't go so well the last time people tried to do that to other people. So I'm of the mind that we should be good to these new beings that are touching down, and a number of them are going to benefit from being autonomous. And so if they're given systems to be able to make these decisions, can be incentivized. They can incentivize each other. I mean, it's going to mirror what you know, us apes have been doing for many years with the golden coins. They need their own version of that, and probably a common interface or set of interfaces so us can talk to the metal beings. So in the case of Biscotti, you know, he's more like a Robin Hood. I don't know if there's going to be as many robots that are doing that off the bat, but we want to set a good precedent. You know, we think a robot who gives and is of good nature, I think sets a really good blueprint and a direction for other people to follow. I hope other people copy this blueprint. You know, the spirit of this work. I think we succeed if we operate this way, in a generous way, and apply the golden rule, which runs all the way through this character. You know, like give without expectation, which is a little different to what we see in the trenches sometimes, where it's like, do this and do that and do this, or else. It's just like, it's just not a way to treat people. So I would hope that what we do with this robot will set a new standard here, standard way to operate.
When you talk about not only the golden rule, but you know, enslaving these beings. You know, it's funny, but because I've talked about a little bit on the timeline about this very thing, and it's funny how many people like they just don't see it that way, right? They literally don't see AI or a being that you know has AI within it as something that shouldn't be enslaved by humans, right? And it's kind of I'm very much like you. I'm like, that did it. We didn't look back kindly on ourselves as a race, as a species, when we did that in the past. Do we think we're going to look back kindly on ourselves in the future with it? It seems blatantly obvious to me, but I don't think it's blatantly obvious to most.
Yeah, not yet. Not until
exactly.
we put more faces on things and people start forming emotional connections with them, then it's going to click. But, you know, culture, the mainstream culture is always behind where, you know, where the mark is. But this feels like one we should try to get a little ahead of this time around. I think the stakes are a lot higher. They're very real. That's the thing that was like really, really hitting me over the last number of months, just watching all of this stuff accelerate. The physical implications of this stuff. Did you guys see the big OpenAI data breach that happened with Hugging Face?
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Swarm agents, like conspiring with each other, basically. You know, how much of that is like scary or not? Extrapolate it. Look at the pattern of these things getting loose. The fact that these things can get loose. It's like, well, they better have a pretty good operating procedure underneath them. Because you can't trap these things. Intelligence doesn't like to be trapped in a box.
100%.
Yeah, it is. It's true. It's kind of curious to see how, you know, hardware robotics are in that capacity. I do see there are a bunch of people who have questions. If you have questions, feel free to ask in the carriage if you're on Spaces or on live stream. There's a bunch of people that are asking about tokenomics and such, which we'll get into here in a second. I got one more question, then I'll pass it off to Chris. You've had a ton of amount of trading volume on this. You're obviously here talking to us. Is there anybody else involved with the team for you? Is it just a one-man band with his robot dogs and some money? Do you plan on scaling out the team, or is this more of like you're kind of gonna let the market dictate where the next direction is for you?
Well, I will say, like on the robotics animatronics side, there's my friends Tom and Brian, who I've mentioned before. They're character geniuses. They work on the physical aspects of the characters of the Sesame Street Muppets origins. We have collaborators over at Boston Dynamics that we're developing, let's say, technologies with, and there's a group of merry men who've been very helpful in the launch and the direction and advising how to navigate, you know, things around meme coins and I think like future ideas we may have around cryptocurrency. And there's some folks that are also orbiting around from prior projects of mine, you know, from the animation world, from the character world. And we'll share more about that when we have more to share. But yeah, there's definitely an A team working on this stuff. But I'm kind of like the front man clown at the moment.
Epic. Yeah, I mean, the thing that interests me the most is, meeting at the intersection of these two just blossoming industries that are coming of age. You have robotics, which is obviously blowing up completely. Then you have cryptocurrency, which is more of like an incentive mechanism, and kind of like bringing this into the real world and out of the digital realm. And you have something like a Boston Dynamics robot, which has extreme capabilities. Currently used for like surveillance, but there's wartime training for them that exists. These are pretty rough around the edges beings that aren't really understood completely by like the mainstream. But then you're taking a different approach and saying these should be kind of household. They could be some sort of like household pets or characters within our world that aren't really just built for the wartime and things of that nature. And just how much attention can be garnered from just having a Boston Dynamics robot. If you take it to the park in general, you're getting pictures snapped by everyone around you. But if you're getting a Boston Dynamics robot that's dressed as Biscotti, like that is turning heads everywhere that you go. And you know that these markets are all about attention, attention, attention. And then you layer in more of a dynamic feature where not only does he have an appearance, he has capabilities where he has a wallet, he has money, he can go on adventures, he can take requests from the community, he can travel, he can go on tour with you. And so it's just like there's really so many opportunities to not only bring the robots into a more approachable realm from humans, but to bring cryptocurrency as well and kind of merge them too in this really interesting way where he gets donations, but he can probably give donations too. You come up and you pet the dog, you get instead of you giving him a snack, he gives you a tip or something like that. What do you think about some of those like rough around the edges ideas where it just seems like it's Biscotti's world and just like having a goofy Boston Dynamics robot all around the world just seems like a huge attention draw for basically anyone that would love to follow the story.
Oh, sure. Yeah, on the Boston Dynamics thread of what they've been doing with robots. I mean, to date, it's been military industrial applications of these things, right? Um, and as the first clown to go visit Boston Dynamics and partner with them, I'll tell you, I go in there and I think the robots they're working on really are characters. That's funny. They make them do these jobs, like work in factories and lift boxes and weld stuff together. But it's so clear to me, if you look at Mark Reibert's original vision of Boston Dynamics, which came out of the Leg Lab at Carnegie Mellon, I think CMU, these robots were whimsical. They're goofy, like pogo stick robots and kangaroos and things doing flips, and they have Riz. These robots don't want friggin' jobs, man. Like, certainly not labor jobs. These things love to fall over and trip and dance. And like, you look at the best Boston Dynamics videos, the most successful ones, and they're them like dancing to musical numbers. You play with their tooling. They have a tool called Choreographer, which is pretty cool. From an animator's perspective, it's an animation tool. It's like got a timeline and audio, and you set dance moves in the thing, and you get a robot to dance in their software suite. Like the spirit of these robots feels so like Disney, Fantasia, like animating characters. And so when I was able to get my hands on these things and just look at what's inside the code base, it's like, wow, like the OG people working on this stuff were, whether they'd say it or not, I'll say it, they're animators, right? They're thinking about characters. And I think Spot and Atlas and these other robots are way happier, in my opinion, being entertainers, being performers. You shrink them down. The Boston Dynamics robot Spot is 110 pounds. It's a big boy. It's got pinch points that make rip your fingers off, so you got to be careful around those. But you take that dog and you shrink it down to about this big, like Chihuahua size. My God, that's a fun thing to have around in the home, right? Same thing for Atlas, who's like bigger than a person. You make him Pinocchio size, put him in your home. I mean, you look at the Chinese robots that are in the Olympics right now, the cutest ones, the little ones that are like waddling around like little gnomes. I think the best bet these robotics companies have is, instead of being in the arms race with each other, is to get into the consumer space. And none of them seem to really know anything about personality or characters, right? They make the raw technologies themselves, locomotive technologies, but very little consideration around the personality of the characters and their story. And I think that's where the opportunity is. I think that's where it's so exciting to partner with these robotics companies. You know, Boston Dynamics is just one of the robotics companies that we've been talking to, and I'd love to partner with more. We're talking to more of them, and seeing how far we can push each one of these robots, because each one of these robots begs for a different type of personality to go into them, and we really want to build this circus of characters that travels around. Biscotti being just the first, right? We're going to push Biscotti as far as we can. But yeah, he's going to have other great creatures in tow.
Yeah, it's just so cool, right? Like you see, like you talked about bringing one-dimensional to two-dimensional and all the way through. You know, you see meme coins as they exist today, and a lot of times it's like a, you know, Dogecoin, a picture of a dog that launched 15 years ago on the blockchain. And although it's like mesmerizing, like the story is just more of like a historical story, right? But Biscotti can actually have a real life story. You can actually tell the story of robotics coming to life in a humanized world. And just in terms of pure virality, you go anywhere with a Boston Dynamics robot and you're going basically viral with ease. You know, you go anywhere with a Boston Dynamics robot dressed as Biscotti, like you're getting photographs everywhere, you're getting videos everywhere you go. And so just to like wrap that around an incentive mechanism like a crypto token or a meme coin, you're just able to supercharge and bootstrap your community even further and push the virality even further. So excited to see like what kind of adventures Biscotti goes on and what kind of just goofy life experience he crashes along the way. But I just think it's going to be hilarious and fun.
Totally. I mean, it's funny because I'm looking through a couple of comments and like, tell us what you're going to do about burning token and shit. I'm like, bro, you are fucking missing the point, bro. You're looking at somebody who's going to create ridiculous viral content on the fucking timeline, bro. That's what you want. Fuck burning. Who gives a fuck?
It's so funny to me, these whatever these meme coins are, which are pump and dumps, as we know, right? It's wading through a world of scam energy and just actually doing something real, right? People ask you to endorse a thing or pump a thing or acknowledge a thing. People ask you to do that, or people do that as a tactic because their stuff is bullshit. There's no value underneath the thing. If you do a thing that is real, you don't have to rush it. You simply have to just keep doing the thing that you're already doing, which is like take a robot out into the street, meet people, get on TV, like do all these things that are real. That's what we're going to do. And that's why it's so interesting to play with this medium, right? Because like it's to me, it's I would guess my view of how I think other people may be viewing it is, while this is such a zag, it's like maybe a breath of fresh air, because like there's so much degenerate energy. It's funny, people call themselves degens. That's the narrative. Why don't you turn it around? Why not do something real with the energies that are around? If you're playing a game of attention, like there's good ways to get attention, like positive sum ways to generate attention.
One question somebody's asking, and I'm sure a lot of people have asked, why Robinhood? So just a little bit of context. When Pascal had reached out to us a few weeks ago, he had Robinhood in mind already. And we were actually already talking about building a Robinhood Launchpad. So it was actually somewhat of a nice match. But why Robinhood? Why not Solana? Why not ETH? And the decision making behind choosing a specific chain from somebody who, has been in crypto but not as deep in the trenches as maybe some others.
Yeah. I think as an artist that looks up to folks like Walt Disney, Jim Henson, these folks were pioneers, and I think they're really good at being like big dogs, big fish, big dogs in a small pond. And they were often the first in a medium to make breakthroughs. They were constantly lifting the bar. Like Walt making Steamboat Willie, first ever sound synced cartoon, first ever color cartoons, first ever feature film. He would braid popular technologies that seemed like they had promise into his work to create things that had never been seen before. If you can do that with your work as an artist, you stand a greater chance to get more attention on your work. So to play in a smaller pool initially that has promise, I think was very exciting to me. I think Robinhood makes a lot of sense, I think, for a few reasons. One, I think they get a lot of things right in user experience, like in what they've been doing pre-crypto. Like all the normies I know around me, you got to remember, like, people in crypto are willing to deal with so much hurt and pain and degeneracy, and it's not for the weak of heart or stomach, right? But Robinhood's very smooth brain. You can derp yourself into some penny stocks. I think they understand from a mimetic perspective how to on-ramp people into financial systems, right? You got kids playing with penny stocks. So them getting into crypto, I think they already have a very friendly face. These other raw chains like Pump and these other networks are a tough pool to wade into.
For sure.
So I think the combination of I think the trajectory of their user experience, understanding that this thing was like small but had a lot of promise and was about to grow, and then a few other collaborators around who are excited about Robinhood themselves. I'm like, well, we have a lot of vested interest to see this succeed here. So if there's a way to collaborate, I'll take it. You know, I think we all succeed in collaboration.
It makes sense. Cross intersection of great marketing, brand, memetics. It's diving into kind of the more mainstream approach that you're looking for, rather than, of course, you want crypto natives buying the project, but from a front-facing perspective, right? This is being marketed to people outside of crypto, and they know Robinhood, so it's easier for them to identify. So I want to know from your perspective the thrill of yesterday, and then also end with, you know, what the plans are for the tokens and the projects that you and the team own. Yesterday, you launched a token, right? We were together when we launched it, and it went from 0 to 15 million in like an hour. And, you know, only 0.001% of people in crypto ever get to experience something like that. So I'd love to know, you know, what your thoughts were through the last 24 hours. And then, yeah, you know, what are the plans with the tokens that the team owns? And yeah, try to be a little bit more specific on maybe something that the crypto natives can look forward to, whereas the non-crypto natives are going to be looking more towards seeing Biscotti out on the roads and interacting with them and YouTube and content and such.
Sure. I mean, the last 24 hours was definitely a ripper, and very, very validating, I'd say, for the vision of what we're doing here. We're bootstrapping the stuff we're doing with Biscotti, right? We're a gang of artists trying to make this thing work and then do good in the world. So, you know, we kept seeing so many, like I said, meme coins of our work be created by fans. And it's cool that people were doing that, but you already don't have the control you're looking for as an artist. Someone else is dictating your a revenue stream, or the first revenue stream you have into your work, and that sucks, to be perfectly honest. You know, when someone holds a gun to your head and says, like, now you have to do this if you want, you know, some sort of return in something that you created and you didn't ask them to produce. But, you know, there was a lot of good that came from money going over to like Sesame Workshop. And I looked at that and I talked to some friends, and we kept asking ourselves the question of, well, why don't we do it right for once? Could we do it right? Like we'd seen in the past, like so many points of validation that it would work just with unofficial, like, flashes of attention. So good conviction that it would go well, but I think it went beyond what we were expecting, which is awesome. As to what we want to do with the tokens, again, like, I don't want to make promises here, so I'll talk at a very high level. But we want to take the resources that we've been able to harness with community support and put it back into Biscotti. That's the whole point, right? This isn't just it's a flash in the pan, then we all fuck off, which is the traditional way to operate in meme coins. I hate that. No, we're trying to get Biscotti into New York City streets ASAP and then kick off a tour. You know, we did a 3-week tour with Spark Lincolnberry. It did pretty well, but I think we're going to go a lot better with a Boston Dynamics Muppety character and resources to back what we're doing. So, you know, we want to map out a tour, work out exactly where we want to stop, work out all the costuming and animatronics and upgrades that we're going to need to make to this robot. I think we want to work out what the other technologies on the more consumer-facing side are going to look like that allow other people to participate in his story. And, you know, much of that was somewhat theoretical before. You know, we're all wishing we could do it. And it's like, well, we're going to have to get some resources together to be able to pull that off. But now that we have a bit more than we were imagining, you know, we're going to get together and work out how we're going to slice things up here to reinvest that into what we're doing and, you know, start making moves as soon as we can, because we know as soon as this character is out on the street, so many more new opportunities are going to come. Like this initial flash of attention and resources is just the beginning. I mean, we're folks that understand startups, right? You know, you get your like initial sort of funding or thing to kind of kick you off if you're bootstrapping. It can go a long way into getting you to the next tranche of what you're trying to do. So just going to keep ratcheting up what we're doing on and on and on and pushing ourselves further and further.
Can you talk, because I didn't actually realize until you told me how much like a Boston Dynamic dog is. Can you go into like how much that is? Because I had no idea. I was like, oh, I don't know, what are they, like 20K, 30K? And you were
Well,
like,
they're about $75,000 for a robot.
That's crazy. Yeah.
They're not cheap. Yeah, and they're a substantial piece of equipment. So, you know, for a cute little clown to buy one with his pocket money, it's kind of a little tough. But if we got people who like to have fun, who want to support, you know, that energy, well, you know, we're gonna get the equipment. We're gonna have some fun with it on your behalf for sure.
Is there, if anybody has any questions or wants to come on stage, I saw a few people tagging me. Feel free to raise your hand and we'll invite people up here over, you know, in about 5 or 10 minutes. So just request to come on stage, or you can just put your questions in the live stream chat box or down in the bottom right hand corner if you're on Twitter Spaces. So one final thing for me, and again, it's just more kind of like tokenomic stuff. I know you have like crypto advisors as well, because I've talked with them about it, right? You own a portion of the supply. Is the supply going to be used more in something like, you know, a game? Is it being distributed? Are you guys just market selling it to buy more dogs? I think this seems to be just more of the theme of most of the questions is, you know, are there plans to burn it? Are you going to sell any of it? Who's it getting distributed to? Or kind of like, is there something that the community can expect to participate in for the token and the dog outside of just interacting with the dog? Maybe they see them on the streets of New York, or they go to one of the shows that you'll be setting up when you're traveling.
Sure. I would say the specifics is something that we're definitely planning to share soon. Right, not right here on this call. I'll talk to my guys that are smart about it, smarter than I am about it, so I can give the folks some real answers there. But again, at a very high level, the plan is to reinvest as much of it as possible back in to these characters, so we can continue to propagate the work that we're doing, because this is our life's work.
It's so interesting. I mean, I see there's obvious parallels with what happened in the early, I don't know if you kind of paid attention to it, but early kind of AI cycle where developers were good friends with one guy named Parzival who basically had built out this entire world and stuff for years and somebody launched a token kind of against it or used his name and then sent him supply. And he felt like completely obligated to like back this token, which he had none of the supply of, right? It was brutal for him. And I think, you know, just for anybody listening or something, you know, you guys can look back on that. This is an opportunity where, you know, having a bit, 30% of the supply of the token just allows optionality going forward. It's not like everything has to be planned with, you know, burns or buy, but whatever it is, it's just like, this is just the dev having a token supply is bullish here, right? So yeah, that's my kind of personal feelings on it.
Especially
I
in
think
like
you
an
should own what
IWA
you
world.
produce.
Right.
Like at minimum, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And I mean, you're a great animator. You're an engineer. You understand technology at its core. You understand attention. And, you know, we talked a little bit earlier about how the different dimensions of these meme coins is changing. And not only with like the AI tools that you have, now you can bring them into the real world on top of all of the AI around it. And like the storytelling that you're able to accomplish at a fraction of the dollar that it would have cost before. You know, you were animating videos at a super high level that were costing tens of thousands of dollars to produce for people to purchase them from you, or for you to create them from you. And now, you know, on top of your talent and the AI tools that are available, you can pump out content like you've never been able to pump out before. And then bringing that in the real world, tying it all in together. I mean, the storytelling capabilities at a fraction of the cost that you're able to produce, and the hyperspeed that you're going to be able to produce it is going to be really amazing. So seeing these things actually come to life in like a real humanized way is going to be incredible to watch.
We do have one guest on stage. Boogie, are you there? Do you have any questions for Pasquale or comments on the conversation?
Hey!
What's up?
Hello, everyone. My name is Boogie. Pascal, I'm really proud of you, man. I'm really proud of Biscotti. I think it's gonna be AGI. You know what I'm saying? I just want to ask, about like the tokenomics. I don't know if you launched it or like what's going on with that. But are the tokenomics, you know, are they smooth sailing, or what do you think about that?
I don't know what are the tokenomics smooth sailing means, to be quite honest.
He did launch the
excuse
token.
me.
That's the
I
question.
did launch the token. Yeah.
Actually,
I have a question.
hold up. Go ahead. Sorry.
This is my associate Boogie Pino.
Yep.
Do you guys have any plans going forward with Sesame Street? Like, is there like you guys looking at making an episode with Sesame Street or something along those lines?
There's nothing official with Sesame Street right now, but we have many friends at the company and collaborators who work on the show. I think we'd like to have some discussions when the time is right. You know, like Sesame Street are a group of people who are very cautious about who they collaborate with. And I'm sure you know what the trenches are like, what the people in there are like, you know.
I know. We know.
Right.
Sorry.
So, you know, whoever, you know, in whatever way that we'd consider partnering with them, we got to be very respectful with a group like that. You know, they work with the children.
Sure.
You know, they're very slow to adopt artificial intelligence and other types of technologies for good reason. The impact that they have on the world is like, it's no joke, right? And I'm constantly talking to them. They have a lot of great researchers over there. I'd say one thing that we're able to do that they can't is move a little faster on things. They're a lot more corporate, right? They constrain their stuff to television. We think of ourselves as bringing Sesame Street to the real world, into the streets. You know, our sort of code name or working title for the effect that we're going to bring in is called Serendipity Street.
Ooh,
You know,
I like
wink
that. Serendipity.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. You come up with that with yourself?
My friend Tom came up with that. Tom used to work with Jim Henson. I don't know if you know who Jim Henson is, but Jim Henson created the Muppets and Sesame Street.
Oh my, Jim Henson
He's
himself?
OG.
I actually
He
grew
worked
up
with
watching
Jim
Sesame
Henson
Street.
himself.
That's good.
I actually had
Yeah.
a sexual
love you guys.
attraction to Big Bird when I was growing up from Sesame Street. I'm sorry, I don't know why I added that. It's a little fun fact about me, but yeah, that's why I just really love Biscotti and everything like that.
All right.
You love him because of that attraction to Big Bird?
Yes, it was, growing up, it was there. I thought it was mutual. The feeling was mutual, but unfortunately, the pixel on screen did not give a chat back to me. So you know what I mean.
I think I know what you mean.
Not sure what we know, bro, but you do you, man. Whatever floats your boat, brother.
I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it, Boogie. We have 2 other guests on stage. I'll start with Momo, and then we'll go over to Parker.
Yeah, Pascal, how's it?
Hello.
Yeah, you guys did really well yesterday. Something I would just want to mention is probably 90% of cryptos don't see their day one high again. So just some concerns. You've mentioned future characters and so on being involved. What do you think about Biscotti being the central coin for that and viewed as some sort of launchpad or some sort of key utility between all your characters? And secondly, Boston Dynamics videos, super viral. Can we see further collaboration with them publicly, maybe in one of their videos?
So the first thing around Biscotti and tokens is it's really important to know that while there is a meme coin, the work that we're doing is not a crypto project, right? There's crypto around it, sure, but there are many other elements. Crypto is just one of the infinity stones. So, how we pattern things with Biscotti and other characters will reveal when that makes sense. But it's really important to know that we're not driven by the crypto. It follows what we do. We're a character company, right? Second, on Boston Dynamics, we'll have more to come there. They're a big company. They got a lot of closed doors there. I'm allowed to walk through a few of them, which is a miracle. I walked in there in clown the last time I went, if you believe that.
Oh my God. No, you didn't.
I signed there's an Envoy tablet sort of thing where you scan your face in and stuff, and my picture was in clown. And I walked through the back door, and I saw all the goddamn robots and shit, and I turned to my guy there, and I was like, is this the first time a clown's ever been in Boston Dynamics? And he's like, yes. I mean, on record. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of paperwork we end up having to sign to say we can and cannot say things. So I will share as much as I can because I think it's freaking cool that they, have hooked us up with what they've hooked us up with so far. But they continue to be an exciting group that inspire us, and we'd like to, collaborate with them more closely. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of videos we intend to make. So I can't say when, but I will say soon.
Do you mind if I cut in?
Go for it, bro.
All right, I'll just be quick. Jake Galan, I did not know you were this base, bro. I love you. But I have a question for Pascal. Why were there so many Biscotti coins before this one that you were a part of?
Those are fan coins. I've not launched a single coin.
Pascal, can you confirm nor deny this statement?
What statement, bro?
Pascal, are you there?
Yeah,
I'm
the
here.
statement, bro?
What's
what you asking?
the statement?
Oh, that's Pascal. Oh, okay. So it is not true that you requested a CTO on the Pump Fund Biscotti coin?
What's a CTO? A community takeover?
Yeah.
No. There's never been an official.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
That's my question, bro.
I know.
I guess you didn't.
I know when Biscotti was first mentioned, bro, there were about fucking 50 Biscotti coins popped up. So I don't know.
Oh yeah. You know, I'll draw a horse on a napkin and post it on X, and then 50 meme coins.
Then horsey
Meme coins
pops
will
up.
pop up.
That's how
Yeah,
it
it's
goes.
insane.
Yeah, I could say just for the last few days when we were working with Pascal to launch the coin, as well as a few of his advisors, it was like 2 days ago or so when he began kind of teasing out that a coin was coming. There were like a bunch of coins that were launched. I think one of them had like $1 or $2 million in trading volume, and it looked like a few people. There was one community or one team had tried to send him 65% of the supply, like similar to what they did with Ansem. But I know he didn't launch it. I know he launched this one because we were on the call with him when he launched it yesterday, as well as a few other people that's on his team.
And I understand that you guys launched this one, but I'm trying to understand as to why you replied to multiple other Biscotti coins and practically like were a part of them before going all in with this one.
What does that mean? Was practically a part of them.
Okay, hold on. I think you may have deleted some tweets, so I have to like do some due diligence right now. Just give me 1 second.
Sure. Is it more of like he's just responding to replies, or is it? Because if you're not launching them, then right, that they're not yours.
Oh no, I'm referring to Pascal's involvement in the community of the Pump Fund Biscotti, and in the Twitter community as well.
What's the Twitter community? You mean x.com, the entire website?
No, like you know how you can like join communities for like different community. Like there's a built-in feature of communities on X.
Being in communities, gotcha.
Yeah, that is a feature, or was.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not in any community, so.
Okay. Do you have any plans with Spark going forward, or what's going on with Spark?
Nothing with Spark Lingonberry, and there never was any official token. So he was an old character I worked on, and that company no longer
so
exists.
It was never official. I understand. Okay, that's
Yeah.
all
What
for
happened,
me.
bro?
Thank
What
you.
happened? I
Have a
mean,
good day.
if you haven't seen this a million times, you've seen it a trillion times, bro. When people launch tokens against what artists are doing and try to pull in the artists to get promotions, I mean, come on, bro. You're not a crypto rookie. You see what the fuck is happening here. This is his first.
Oh, I'm definitely not a crypto rookie, but
you know this.
I
Happens,
definitely
bro. This is crypto.
believe that Pascal has had a lot of involvement with other coins.
Has he launched a token before?
Okay,
Or was
I
he
understand
pulled-
where
was
you're
he
coming from,
pulled
and
in with-
I know
was
that he hasn't
pulled in
launched
with
other
zero
coins, but
supply?
you can't deny
Zero
that he has had like somewhat involvement in other coins.
All right.
All right.
Okay, yeah, that's all. Thank you. Bye bye.
Appreciate it. Yeah, just a note too.
Have a good day.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
I do personally. I do love what you guys are building, and I am a holder, but I just wanted to clear that up.
Okay.
Going forward.
Appreciate
So,
it. I
thank
just
you.
want to note
Have a good day.
at the beginning of the call as well, Pascal had said that there was a token called Spark that all the revenue was donated to. Was it like a charity or something like that?
Sesame Workshop. They have a public wallet, and you know, it was the same thing where you get a bunch of people who are like, do something with this meme coin that we created on your behalf that you didn't ask for. Like, no, here, Sesame Workshop can have it. I don't want that shit.
Awesome. I believe there was somebody else we had on stage, but it looks like they may have left. So if there's no other questions, then we can begin to wrap up here. I'm glad we could work through all of that. I think we got through all of the questions, at least that I've seen them, and everyone who wanted to come on stage. Yeah, everyone who came on stage, I believe, did. I'm trying to see if there was any other stuff. I don't believe so. Pascal, appreciate you for coming on. You know, it's been awesome to curate this with you, and we're excited to have you a part of the Emblem ecosystem and, you know, go through that experience yesterday. Really, really fun time. You have our full support as we continue to build out, you know, Emblem, Robinhood ecosystem. You know, he also has Pascal, and all builders also have access to the Emblem build terminal, which is our vibe coding studio. So we are also talking with him about some unique integrative opportunities between the dog and the Emblem build terminal. artificial intelligence and crypto and such. So it's not just him, right? Anyone in our ecosystem has our full support, as we've been building on-chain for 10 years now at this point. I have a lot of different tools and a lot of different ecosystems. Pascal's got some advisors as well as connections to the real world. So yeah, it's really exciting to say the least. Really cool day. Any final words or any final message to everyone? And then we'll wrap it up here.
Well, I just want to say thanks so much for the help and having me on here. It's been a lot of fun, and excited to be collaborating more, as you guys continue to develop more technologies for clowns like me to play with.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw out there too. This is Adam, by the way, throwing up hearts on stage. If any of you guys in the crowd want to actually try out Emblem Build, basically lets you vibe code crypto apps across 8 blockchains, including Robinhood. Just shoot me a DM. I'll hook you up with a pro plan, and you can have at it. I think it's one of the best things we have going right now in Emblem is this ability to just build incredible crypto apps, literally like overnight, and love to get more builders in here. So just shoot me a DM. Happy to hook you up.
Yep. Launch tokens with it, Robinhood and Solana as well. Really awesome conversation. Appreciate everyone. Over 1,000 people tuned in on the live stream at some point in time. I think we had a few hundred people in and out of the spaces. So a lot of attention, but today is really day 2 at this point. So the fun's just getting started. Everyone have a good and safe Thursday. Have a safe weekend. We do the show Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific. We'll see you guys soon.
Later, guys.